Hi, I'm David Weiss. This is a continuation of the Phi video series based upon my book, Take the Phi Road, which I published in 2017. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, I recommend watching at least a few of them, as this series tends to build upon itself. So today I'm going to talk about building your Phi integrity, building your Phi signal, your signal to noise ratio, your Phi to non-Phi ratio. Any of those fit the concept. As we walk through the world but not of it, it helps to have an internal signal. A signal that is greater than the noise around us. A signal that helps us navigate through the clutter. It also helps for our own personal health and our transformation to have regeneration and recharge available to us. And so what we take in is very important. I talk about that in the nature versus denature, the Phi integrity video. And that is basically garbage in, garbage out. If you live on a diet of garbage, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical garbage, then it's going to be very difficult to navigate. For example, we have a lot of polarization in 2020. And so as you're listening to the news, if you have no signal, no authentic signal, if your signal is low because of a diet of garbage or not going within, then you may get sucked into it. You may get sucked into the emotional cacophony. So by cultivating your internal source, your internal signal, it builds your discernment. So I'm going to use a couple other examples of grounding and resonance and some visualizations that should help us get there. In the third video, I talked about grounding. Grounding is a term we see in electrical circuits, where energy flows from a higher potential to a lower potential, or ground. We see it in the circuitry in our car, the car battery, for example, and grounding is a very common principle. Now, with respect to, let's say, a lightning strike hitting the earth, the lightning is quite a massive energy, and to absorb that energy strike, Earth behaves as an infinite ground. I mean, if you or me or a tree tried to absorb that lightning strike, it's kind of a one-shot deal. We don't really function as an infinite ground. And so when you take that concept a step further and you say, well, what if you wanted to manifest a planet, a solar system, a galaxy, this universe? Now we're talking concepts on the level of what you might have heard of as the Big Bang. But what if God just made it one day, boom? That's another option. But to have manifestation on that level, it suggests that we have an infinite source flowing to an infinite ground, much more infinite than the Earth's ground and much more infinite than the power of a lightning strike. Now, as we see Phi, the pattern, the fractal pattern of Phi, unfolding through this universe, whether we see it in the galactic spirals, the structure of the atom, our DNA, nature, life around us, we can see that Phi has a prominent role in this universe. I call it Phi continuity because it looks like intelligent design. And I would say that's God's design. That's the designer blueprint of this universe. I don't want to scare anyone away by talking about religion or God, but I mean, it is something we all have in common, this Phi continuity, whether you're atheist or creationist or evolutionist. So let's play with that for a while and bring in some physics, bring in some observation. And as Phi is a conduit for energy, that also implies resonance. What is resonance? Well, it's like that tuning fork that the musician would use to tune his guitar. It vibrates. All energy, all matter has resonance. We have resonance. Phi has resonance. So I look at life force as a tuned, resonant expression. And as we stand in it, we can recharge, whether it means going into nature, being in the company of loved ones. And so, but there's more to it than that. It's intention. And if you believe in God, you might say, I intend to walk with God. I intend to walk in the purity, the divine blueprint of God, and to receive that energy. That's one way. or you can just say, or you can intend to walk in that pattern. Through our focus, we direct the energy. The internal focus aligns us. The external awareness helps us navigate, so we can walk through the world but not of it. And as we carry our signal, we can see what's truth and non-truth. And so that's very useful. Now, what else? How else can we look at this? Through the lens of peak experience. Because to make this a practice, we have to have some way to identify it and to utilize it and to keep it and to say, yes, this is mine. This is how I resonate in the world. This is my gift. And we all have individual gifts. We all have individual facets. The ultimate diversity is the individual. And I'm giving credit to, I believe it was Dr. Jordan Peterson who talked about the diversity and the individual. But here is an aspect where we all matter. We all have a facet that we can bring. And so in this context of grounding, of resonance, we look at our peak experiences, whether it's holding a newborn, being at a sunset. This is something we can go back to and remember. This is a seed. This is what it feels like to have our heart expand. This is what it feels like to be in the presence of the divine. So this is big stuff, and we can take it with us. And as far as making choices, when you can resonate internal energy like that, then as you meet people, you can see their energy. When I say see their energy, you can feel it. Most of us can already do it. We can walk into a room and, you can feel if there's been an argument. You can feel if the energy is thick, so thick you can cut it with a knife. Or if it's lighthearted, because you can feel the joy. Some of that's body language, but a lot of it's energy. Sometimes you know before you open the door. And you have gut feelings about stuff. That's energy, that's resonance. We already have that. So putting that together with peak experience and a disciplined or a diligent focus internally, we can cultivate that. We can rewrite any epigenetics that have taken us into scarcity, into, I want to say, degradation. And epigenetics is a term I heard about through Dr. Bruce Lipton in The Biology of Belief, where our thoughts and feelings and habits shape our genetic expression through the epigenetic layer. So here's an option that we can start to, I want to say, reclaim our authenticity, our signal to noise. And the greater signal we have, then when we walk through the world, we realize, oh, that person's in tune. We are the tuning forks. And we can find other people who are in tune with us and those who aren't in tune. And maybe we need to avoid them, or maybe we need to embrace them and help them, with our gift. So again, this is a very individualistic approach, but we all are important in this way. So anyway, thanks for listening, and start practicing, start resonating. Thank you.